Welcome back to Full Disclosure and our interview with the recently released Dr. Richard I. Fine. Suffering in jail for 18 months, being in solitary coercive confinement, could weaken the resolve of any man. Additionally, every appeal Dr. Fine filed was either ignored or rejected, which had to be further dispiriting. We asked him what was his darkest moment of his confinement.
I think the darkest day was the day that I found out that the U.S. Supreme Court had turned us down. Because the district court I understood, because I knew, that they were just totally off the wall. The Ninth Circuit I understood because we had caught them taking money and having relationships with the County of Los Angeles. The U.S. Supreme Court, I felt, would follow the law and probably just send the case right back and order a writ of habeas corpus to be filed. And instead, the U.S. Supreme Court refused to let me out under the due process part that Yaffe ultimately leaves me out under. And they refused to take the case and refused to send it back and order a writ of habeas corpus be filed. And I think it was in that point in time that I fully recognized that the corruption, when I use the word corruption, not only the corruption of the payments, but the attitude of the abuse of power to allow the corruption to exist and stay within the system had gone so far that the entire system was undermined.
But even that became a positive inspiration and motivator.
But that day that ended up with greater resolution, because you have a dark day and then you come back and you say, well, let's recognize it. If this is what it is and it's this bad all the way up, we've now shown it, we've now proved it, and we go on from there to fix it.
They could have kept him in jail until he died. Every brief and every appeal he filed was being denied or ignored. We asked him why he thought he not only survived, but he prevailed.
There is someone upstairs taking care of me. And not only taking care of me, but showing that we as a country will actually prevail in all of this. Because no matter what these people did to keep me in jail for 18 months, and no matter how many laws they broke, and no matter how many decisions they refused to follow, we had these epiphanies that took place. I mean, Yaffe, out of the clear blue sky, after having refused to let me out on one day, decides literally within 24 hours or whatever it was that he's going to let me out on his own motion. I mean, here this man has been fighting me for 18 months, doing everything possible. The courts have been fighting. Everybody's been fighting to keep me in jail, and suddenly I'm out. It's very interesting that following the procedures didn't do it.
Would you do this all over again?
The answer to that is yes. The only qualification is that I'd have to think twice about it if I knew going in that I was going to be in jail for 18 months. Because at that point, I would have to have some very, very serious discussions with my family as to the effect upon the family and everything else. As I said earlier, I thought that the system would work and I would have been out within 5 days. And that was a major, I'll say, misjudgment on my behalf because of the fact that on March 4th, where I was standing, my research showed that every Supreme Court precedent was in my favor. I did not count on the fact, and I have to say I did not take into consideration the fact that every court up through the United States Supreme Court would deliberately refuse to follow those precedents.
What does the future hold for Dr. Richard I. Fine? He wants to restore his beloved justice system.
I'm very interested in ensuring that we restore the judicial system and that we restore the integrity of the judicial system. And I think that if my having been in jail for 18 months and to stand up for the principles that we must have an honest judicial system with integrity, if that can ignite just one small spark in the people of our country to go in there and get active and to transform the anger that is existing in this country right now against government and everything else into the positive moves of voting out these judges that got these illegal payments and moving forward to get the right laws in place and pressuring the politicians to do this, because we actually are the people that have the power. We do not have to buckle in. I'm not asking every person in the world to make a choice that I have made, because we've now explored the fact that you can see the background from where this choice came. For me, it was a very natural choice. For a person without my type of training, it would not be a natural choice. They would have another set of values that they had to look at. But what we all have in common is the ability to take charge of our system, the ability to get out there and vote, the ability to go in and pressure our elected representatives that they work for us, not for them. And once we become active and we transform our anger into activity, I think we can move forward, because the country's in a very, very bad state right now. The judicial system, as I said before, this is the last bastion. When this system went, and I'm not saying goes, the system's gone. When this system went, we lost all of our protections. Now we have to gain that back. We can do it. The only thing that is holding us back is basically the people that are fighting against us. And the people that are fighting against us are unfortunately the people that are abusing the power. So we get together the way we made America. America is a people that came from all over, that got together, helping each other to go forward. And if there's any point in time in the history of the United States in the last 230 some odd years, this is the time that we need to do that. The age of divisiveness is over. The age of cooperation and moving forward is here. I think I would like to be a part of that in whatever role I can play. And I think we will succeed at it. The cover-up is over. It's out in the open. It didn't work. The issue didn't die. I didn't die in jail. The issue is alive, and we're going to restore the judicial system.
We want to thank Dr. Fine for appearing on Full Disclosure. We want to know what you, the viewers, think. How many of you have seen the same corruption in the local courts? Are you willing to support restoring integrity to the court system? If you do, we want to hear from you. Please call Full Disclosure Town Hall number at Tell Us What You Think at 1-800-867-7777. That's 1-800-867-7777. And if you leave your name and number, we'll get back to you. Or you can log on to our website at fulldisclosure.net and leave your opinion there. And if you leave your email address, we'll be happy to respond. Please join us next time for another edition of Full Disclosure. I'm Leslie Dutton. Thank you.
To respond to this question or comment on this program, please call 800-867-7777 or visit fulldisclosure.net. Transcripts or DVD copies of this program are also available on our website. Full disclosure, the news behind the news.